And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the star of our show, and top of the bill today is Harry Worth.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, there you are. I don't know why I wear these specs, you know. I don't need them, only for seeing. Now, we'll get all the visual jokes out of the way. They won't be able to understand this at home, but I've got to do this. I got into trouble. They say, he didn't do it. Why didn't he? So I'll do it. It's done. Just clear the point up for the listeners at home. Harry raised his arm and his leg as he has been doing for years. I'm now going to invite the audience to stand up and do it with me. No, you better not. Now, on any stage, or on any program, I should say, whether it's on stage, radio, screen, or television, I think you'll agree with me, sometime or other there must be a dull moment. And here I am. No, it's nice to be on Workers Playtime. I did Workers Playtime April the 17th, 52. That's 30 years ago. That was my first one. This is my second. I can't understand it. I told the BBC I've enjoyed doing this Workers Playtime. Can I do another one? They said, we'll ring you. 30 years ago, they rang me last week. I waited in. Now, I went to the cinema the other night. Now, I went in the cinema in the dark. I went in the dark and sat on a man's hat, and he was very annoyed. His head was still in it. He was angry. Well, of course, every right to be angry. If you sit on a man's head, he doesn't make a friend of you. But he stood up and he was a big man. He towered over me. I thought he was going to hit me. But he had his wife with him. And she hit me. Now, yeah, I think it's a good thing that I tell you that I'm a comedian, because you never know. There may be some lady in this audience who's never seen me or never heard of me, might turn to her husband and ask, what is he? He might forget himself and tell her. The poor man could lose his wife because of that silly little joke. And it's hard to lose a wife. Hard? It's impossible. It's only a joke, ladies. If you don't like some of the jokes I tell you this afternoon, I beg of you to pay them the greatest respect. They're older than any one of you. Yes, my father. Have I mentioned my father? No. Wonderful man. Left everything he had to an orphanage. It wasn't much. 9 children. My father, in his youth, self-made man, he made money. He made big money. Unfortunately, was an 1/8 of an inch too big. But he thought the world of me many years ago. I better tell you something else, or what I say next won't make sense. When I was born, I was one of twins. You weren't, I was. My father, he looked at us twins and he said, I know what we'll do. We'll drown the ugly one. That's how I learned to swim. One lovely day years ago, the sun was shining and my father, he was sitting on the lawn, wishing he had a house to go with it. He was a very poor man. Why was this? He never worked. People used to call him lazy. Used to point the finger at my father and say, he's a lazy man, he's a good for nothing. He would have worked, it was his back. He had difficulty getting it off the bed. saw his son coming towards him. That was me. And he beckoned me in his charming, fatherly way. He said, Rover. He said, I am going to take you to school this morning. It was rather nice of him, because he understood me. I was very sensitive. In infant school, I was different to the other 5-year-olds. I was 10. I'll say this about my father. Whatever he did, or with all his fault, what he did or he didn't do, he used to take me to school every morning. He had to. He was in the same class. And we were walking along. He said, now, when you grow up, promise me, he was a very short man, he said, promise me you'll never ever go anywhere near a theatre, especially the Windmill Theatre. Now, you know the Windmill Theatre in London. That is where the girls used to dance around the stage, barefoot, up to their chins. He said, you mustn't go or you'll see something that you oughtn't to see. So I went. And I sat there and looked, and I did see something I shouldn't have seen. Father. When you're smiling, when you are smiling, I promise you the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you know, all these songs about being happy and when you're smiling and keep a smile on your face, all very well. But it cannot happen in real life. Because life isn't like that. Try it in a day of your life. Walk down the street with a big smile on your face. Someone will come up and say, what's up? And this is a sad story. Concerns a friend of mine. I wouldn't like to embarrass him, and I'll refer to him as Fred, which will please him because that's his name. Fred had an ambition in life. It wasn't very much to you or me. What was it? He wanted to grow a prize marrow. A marrow that would win first prize at the local village vegetable show. And after so long, years of trying, he grew this marrow. I know nothing about gardening. I wish you... It was absolutely marvelous. And he was delighted because he knew the following morning, after all these years of trying, he wasn't going to be highly commended or get third or second. He was going to win first prize for the marrow. Off he went to bed. But he was too excited. He couldn't sleep. 3 o'clock in the morning, he had to get out of bed, go to the bedroom window, look down into the garden to make sure the marrow was quite safe. Now, imagine how he felt when he discovered there was a very keen frost. All he could think about was the marrow. He should have put an overcoat on. He should have got dressed, and he didn't. In his pajamas down the bedroom stairs, out into the bitter cold of the night, and he got to the marrow, and he did the only thing he could do. He lay down beside it, and he put his arms around it to keep it warm. And the following morning, his wife woke up and she wondered where it was. She couldn't find him anywhere in the house. And she said, I know, of course I know. And she went into the garden looking for her husband, and she found him. She found him frozen to the marrow. So remember, when you're smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Bye-bye. Nice meeting you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's sing-along time. In Workers Playtime today, you heard Barbara Law, Bobby Pattinson, Bob and Alf Pearson and Harry Worth, with music by the Harry Hayward Trio. The programme was presented by Peter Wheeler and produced by James Casey and Ron MacDonald.